Hey, grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Berean TV. I want to talk about conscious deceivers. My grandmama and them used to say something. They used to say, two wrongs don't make a right. And it seems like everything that the conscious community blames the white man for, they're guilty of the same thing. You are of your father, the devil. We already know that a lot of people that the conscious community use are Europeans. Count Volley, Ruins of an Empire, Gerald Massey, Book of Beginnings, Egyptian Book of the Coming Forth by Day, and Godfrey Higgins, Kersey Gray's World 16 Crucified Saviors. So many other people that they use are Europeans, let alone Helen Blavatsky and the European mystics they deal with Kabbalah and all of that other stuff. But I'm going to explain a couple of things why they're so deceptive. Because they say that the white man had an agenda and the white man is wicked. When the white man started our history and the history of the Indians, the white man began the history when they came to the shores of America, to the Caribbean. And they don't give Africans their history because they're deceivers and they're attempting to lie to us. So they begin our history with slavery, Jim Crow, Emancipation Proclamation, Jim Crow era, Dr. Martin Luther King, and that's how our history begins. They say that's a tool that the white man has been using, and the white man's not fair telling the whole story. Well, the conscious community, they're the same way. They know well and good and well that Christianity began on the continent of Africa, that Moses was on the continent of Africa. The Israelites were in the area that we call the Levant, that was on the continent of Northeast Africa and what people would call the Middle East today. Jerusalem, all of that was once controlled by Jebusites, and there were times that the Ethiopians, that Africans even controlled that far all up who they would call the Cushites, or some people later on would call the Moors, controlled all of that. I'm not talking about noble Drew Ali Moors. Europeans later on called a lot of blacks Africans they came in contact with Cushites, Ethiopians, and many of them Moors, not meaning that they're from Morocco. But it's interesting because we know, and the thing that hurts me, they know J.A. Rogers, 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. I've been in a conscious community. Just like almost every Christian you run into knows Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saves a wretch like me, the conscious community know who Dr. Ben is. They know we the black Jews, black man of the Nile and his family. They understand all of this stuff. They have all of this stuff. J.A. Rogers, 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro, from Superman, all of J.A. Rogers books, all of John G. Jackson book, Destruction of a Black Civilization, everything, Ivan Van Sertima, Runoko Rashidi. There's certain things in the conscious community everybody has. Everybody has Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben told you when we the black Jews that the first monks and monasteries were on the continent of Africa, were in Egypt, and we turned around and we gave y'all another PhD. Thomas Oden. Thomas Oden on how Africa shaped the Christian mind. The first monks on the planet came from Egypt. The first Christian nation on the face of the earth was Ethiopia. Ethiopia is the country that went with the longest reign without European outside forces or invasions ever. Somebody gonna say, oh, the white man brought Christianity to Ethiopia. Where are y'all getting this madness from? Y'all deliberately attempting to deceive the people that don't know any better. But there's a people that's coming up. There's a people that's studying to show themselves approved unto God. And there's people that's challenging y'all on primary, secondary source and the history of oral tradition. Now, y'all don't like that because the most dangerous thing is a knowledgeable believer that can come and question y'all because y'all are trying to put people in a certain position. If you don't want the Bible, it's well and fine. We are what they call free moral agents. But my thing is, don't do the same thing you blame the white man of doing. The white man is a devil because the white man lies. He know history and he turned the history around. Y'all know history and y'all are turning the history around. I'm constantly hearing Dr. Reggie say it. A lot of people are on Facebook saying that you so-called Google scholars. Y'all are sitting here saying, the white man, we were given Christianity. We were given Christianity. Like we never heard anything about Christ. We didn't have any Bible. The oldest manuscripts weren't found on the continent of Africa. Y'all are crazy with it. This is madness. And the madness is gonna stop. Y'all gonna stop lying. And I'm telling Christians, y'all got to be careful. There's certain books that they use. Once you know those books and you know the same few arguments, it's not like they're free thinkers. They claim that they're free thinkers, but they're taking thoughts from Blavatsky, from the Europeans, from Theosophists. They're taking thoughts from Aleister Crowley, European Luciferians. They're taking thoughts from Manly P. Hall. Oh, these were originally ours in Africa. Y'all are taking the occult doctrine and y'all are taking things and y'all are twisting it up and y'all not giving the truth. You gotta start studying. If you're a believer, you gotta start studying and you gotta start challenging them. They're quoting a whole bunch of old books. Everybody's quoting Kersey Gray's World 16 Crucified Saviors. Everybody's quoting the movies of Geist. Everybody's quoting John G. Jackson, Christianity Before Christ. Everybody's quoting the same books. And a lot of the sources that they're using are 50, 80, and 100 years or 100 years old. Where of anthropology and Egyptology? How has it grown since then? Y'all are still talking about Osiris and the virgin birth mess, and y'all are doing that to believers that don't know. Y'all are doing that to people that don't know any better, and you're dealing with what we call emotional scholarship, which is pseudo-scholarship. Y'all are trying to stir people's emotion. The white man is wicked. You heard that he shot that brother down in South Carolina? I saw the video. And then you start spewing your lies. You don't give the whole history. It's the white man with the white Jesus. Now, when y'all start talking about the ship called Jesus, there's something that y'all do that we were always taught not to do. We were always taught. I was taught when I was eating, eat the meat and throw away the bones. What don't apply, just go ahead and throw it away. But y'all want to throw out the baby with the bathwater because some Europeans that claimed that they were Christians turned around and named the ship after Jesus, and they done they devilment and they raped, robbed, and pillaged, as y'all claim, when the whole planet was doing it. Africans done it too, but that's a whole nother class. We'll discuss that later on. Now y'all want to get brand new. Y'all can't do it. Y'all can't just feed us what y'all want to. Get some new sources. Get some primary sources. Y'all want to say Serapis and all of this stuff. The Hadrian letters 146 years after the fact. Y'all are all quoting Walter Williams, ex-pastor Kevin Wesley, Sarah Sutin Seti, who else? Young Pharaoh. Oh, Christianity came from Serapis and you don't understand the councils. Y'all are crazy. And all of y'all are repeating Walter Williams. And Walter Williams' foundation is shaky. If the foundation is shaky, the whole building's falling down. And y'all notice, a lot of y'all know that. Y'all say y'all love Dr. Ben. Quote Dr. Ben. Say what he really said. Quote it. If y'all want to quote him, go ahead and quote it. But at the same time, he, like Marcus Garvey and others, and Nat Turner and so many others, oh, that's a whole nother thing. When you start dealing with Harriet Tubman, she was a believer. Marcus Garvey was a believer. Nat Turner was a believer. What has the conscious community done? Check the scoreboard. Good night. This is Brother Barine. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Thanks for watching.